The Arnolfini Portrait was painted in 1434 by Jan van Eyck, baffling art historians ever since. It has been analyzed maybe more than any other painting in history, and in the process becomes even more mysterious to viewers. The Arnolfinis were part of the new rising middle class, trying desperately to fit in, yet no matter how much money they had or how many possessions they owned, they were ultimately trapped in the social class that society had placed them in. During the medieval period, a rapid expansion in trade and commerce led to the rise of the middle class, an incredibly wealthy and powerful merchant trading class. Bruges, Belgium, was the center for international trade, and people came from all over the world wanting to get rich, including the Arnolfinis from Italy. As merchants became richer, their appetite for social status grew. Consumerism was rampant, and the ultimate way to show off your wealth was to commission a portrait. In the 1430s, a portrait created by Jan van Eyck, a painter active in the Bruges, was considered the most exclusive status symbol. Everything in the painting is a statement of wealth, but they are careful not to cross the line and display the sin of pride. Fashion shapes identity in a multitude of ways, and can represent an individual's culture, economic status, moral standards, and social power. In the 15th century, the new class of merchants were upsetting the aristocracy with their nouveau-rich lifestyles and their ability to outspend them. This resulted in the creation of the tree laws, in which specific designs and styles were limited to specific social classes. Van Eyck was the court painter to King Phillip the Good, and helped the Arnolfinis understand what was excessive and what was appropriate to their social ranking. They are both wearing clothing that serves as a showcase of the luxury goods they traded and acted as an example for the Arnolfini brand. Consumerism was rampant, and the ultimate way to show off your wealth was to commission a portrait. In the 1430s, a portrait created by Jan van Eyck, a painter active in the Bruges, was the most exclusive status symbol. We can't know for sure who the couple really are, but the most likely candidate out of all the Arnolfini men is Giovanni Arnolfini, who married Costanza Trenta in 1426. He became wealthy trading silks and other fabrics, tapestries, and other precious objects. The couple had no recorded children, and Costanza passed away before this painting was even created. For many years, this was assumed to have been a marriage portrait, but it is now widely agreed upon that it's a memorial painting for Costanza. Despite what the backstory is for this artwork, what we can be sure of is that the painting was meant to place the Arnolfinis in their position in society. Looking at Costanza in her green dress, it was commonly thought that she was pregnant in the portrait. However, she isn't, and it's simply a common pose artists use as an idealized fertile female body. Combined with her fashionably high-waisted belt and bunched material, it is easy to see why many thought the painting was representing a wedding. Fur was the ultimate luxury, and Bruges was the center of the world's fur trade. Although ermine fur from a white stoat was reserved for royalty, Costanza wears the next best option, miniver fur from the underbelly of a squirrel. In the background is a settle, a bench covered by rich red velvet. In a world with little comfort, the cushions are another signifier of wealth. Then we have the bed, the most important piece of furniture in this room. Never used to sleep in, its purpose was to show that the master of the house was of sufficient high position to exhibit such a possession as decoration. At a time where few people had glass in their windows, we can see that Arnolfini's windows have been semi-glazed with fine glass. Outside we can see a cherry blossom tree, symbolizing not only renewal, but also the fleeting nature of life, as cherry blossoms only bloom for a short period of time. Observing the dog in the painting, it was a common practice to place dogs at the feet of women on tombs, connecting back to the fact that Costanza was likely already deceased. They were believed to accompany them into the afterlife. If we look into the chandelier at the top of the painting, not only is it another symbol of wealth, but we can see that there are 6 spaces for candles, but only 2 are being used. The one above the man in the painting is still burning, while the one above the woman has been blown out. This is likely meant to represent that the man's life is still burning, while the woman's has burnt out. If we look into the mirror, we can see 2 people standing in the doorway. The first individual is obviously the artist himself, Van Eyck, but the other is likely a representation of the viewer, in which through the mirror, the pictorial world is linked with the real one.